And good afternoon, welcome to KRWX. We're going to take a look at the skies outside this morning, a time lapse I took. And these red skies that we saw this morning, you've heard the saying, a red sky at night is a sailor's delight. A red sky in the morning is a sailor's warning, and it normally brings in some bad weather, some rainy conditions, and if you don't like the rain, the wind, you're going to not like the forecast over the next 3 or 4 days. So these red skies are caused by blue light being scattered by dust particles suspended in the air by a high pressure system. Now you'd say, well, high pressure should mean nice weather. Problem is, when you're seeing the red sky in the morning, it's when the sun is rising. You're seeing it off to your east, which means the system's already moved through and the low pressure is pushing on in. And that's exactly what we're seeing, a string of low pressures here off to the west of us here in western New York. And it's just along this front that is making very little progress as it moves off to the east. Normally we see a lot more progress than 50 to 100 miles in a day with a front like this, but we've had this high pressure offshore. That's the high pressure that is already pushed off, and that is kind of blocking this frontal system from making its way in. So the good news is it kept it out for the Friday commute, so we got a nice Friday evening. But bad news, once it does move in, you can see it starting to make its way into western New York, now the leading edge of the precipitation. That's going to stay here. It's going to hold on for a couple days because, again, this slow progress. So we zoom in a little bit further and you can see just the western fringes, not fridge, I'm hungry right now, but the western fringes of Niagara, Erie, Chautauqua County are starting to get into that rain activity, and it's just going to start taking over western New York as you take a look at this future watch. And it's going to kind of progress, regress, and I stopped the radar a couple times here, and one of the times that's going to be important to you guys here is between 1 and 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It does look like it's going to make some progress out of the western New York area for a short time during the Bills game. Might leave a few scattered showers around. You want that umbrella around still, but for the most part, I think you're going to get a lot of dry weather during the Bills game, and then maybe a little bit of regression again of that line back into western New York before it starts to finally push out of the way as we get into Monday. But unfortunately, that's going to open up the floodgates for some cold weather, some cold air moving across those relatively warm lakes, and we're going to see some lake effect rain shower streamers coming in. So just because the steady rain ends doesn't mean we won't still be getting some scattered showers here and there. The winds, we're going to have almost no real wind activity, but you wonder why we have a high wind watch and a lakeshore flood watch in place. Well, when we get into Monday night around 1 a.m., you could see the northwest trajectory of those winds across Lake Ontario really picking up, and at times we see here upper 40s to near 50-mile-an-hour gusts. And again, that northwest trajectory is going to kind of force the water down onto the southern shore of Lake Ontario. So that doesn't bode well for the people that have had some flooding already this year. So make sure those sandbags are up and ready to protect your property. If we're heading out to the Ellicottville Half Marathon, you're going to see some cloudy conditions early, maybe a few raindrops, but a steadier rain moving in throughout the day. Temperatures making it up into the low 50s, but your runners, you can handle that rain. I was a runner when I was younger, and we ran in a lot worse than that, sleet, snow, so you guys will make it through just fine. So we're talking about a high temperature expected of 57 degrees with a low of 41. That is still above average for this time of year. The records are in no jeopardy of falling. So as we head through the 5-day forecast, we're just going to take a look and see. I'm almost scared to show it to you. Just rain over the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, moving in this afternoon. Starting to lighten up Sunday night, but as we get into Monday, that's when the wind starts to pick up. You see those cool temperatures, rain and wind, not a great combination. Tuesday, the trick-or-treaters are going to have slightly better weather, still wind, still cold, but not as much precipitation around. And as we head into Wednesday, we start to see the sun try to peek out again. So have a good holiday and enjoy your trick-or-treating, and we'll see you with an update early next week.